if you're stuck at home during this mess, there's still some inexpensive stuff you can do to keep yourself occupied. My name is Clint, and if you're anything like me, you're going a little bit stir crazy. First thing I want to say is I hope everyone is healthy and you're dealing with this COVID-19 coronavirus business as best you can. It's a serious pain in the butt, but we're all dealing with it. If you're still working, man, I'm happy for you, and thanks for what you're doing, because somehow, somewhere or another, it's keeping our country going. So with that said, I am getting a little bit stir crazy. Everything is closed down. Our UR National Forest is closed down. The last I heard, Windrock was still open. I haven't heard anything about Rausch Creek yet. I think the gulches in South Carolina is still open. I haven't heard anything about Broken Nut. It's in South Carolina also. I'm laid off. I'm trying to hold on to my money, you know, because you don't know what's going to happen. But there are some inexpensive things you can do with your Jeep or to your Jeep, and I'm going to share a couple that I've just done to mine here recently. So the first thing I want to share with you, you guys know I put the Bulletproof Mounting Solutions phone mount in napalm, I guess it's been a month or so ago. I'm still real happy with it, no issues whatsoever. And they recently came out with a passenger side mount, and it's the exact same setup but for the opposite side. If you're familiar with it, if you watch the install video, it's only made to go on one side. So they came out with a passenger side mount, and it was pretty awesome. They had a sale going on. I think it was like 10 or 15% off. I went ahead and ordered one, got it mailed, got it installed. I didn't do a video on it because it seemed redundant to me. It's the exact same thing as the other one, except on the passenger side. But now passenger has a good quality phone mount that they can use. And like I said before, it's the exact same. It's got two 20mm ball mounts. You can put a GoPro mount right here, or you can switch the arm, put it over here, put your GoPro over here, or you can just leave this blank, which I have done. I've got my GoPro mount on the driver's side. That way it's a little bit easier for me to reach. If we ever get to go out on the trails again this year, that way I'll have easy access. I've got a couple GoPros, so hopefully this year I'll be able to get some different angles and a little bit better coverage for you guys as far as the cameras go. The other thing I've done is added a high lift jack. It was actually a birthday present. I've had a birthday here recently, and for those of you who are wondering, I am in fact 51 years old. I actually prefer a bottle jack, but there are situations where a bottle jack you just can't use it safely, and honestly, a high lift has a whole lot more potential uses than just jacking up your Jeep or your truck or whatever. But this isn't about the high lift jack. This is about the mount. I actually posted a picture on my Facebook page, and I had a couple of questions about the mount that I used. So we all know high lift jacks are a good tool to have in your recovery kit. They're almost a necessity if you're lifted and have, you know, tires over 33 inches, because the scissor jack that comes with your Jeep, it's not going to lift it up high enough to even get the tire off if you have something as simple as a flat. So a high lift or a bottle jack is a great way to go. I already have a bottle jack. Like I said, I got the high lift as a birthday present. But mounting a high lift jack, I do not like the hood mounts. It leaves too much room for causing damage and scratch and paint. M's Jeep, the TJ Grunt, her high lift was actually mounted on the hood when she bought it, and you could just see on the cowl where it was just scratched up, and was just gnarly, and I didn't want that on my Jeep. Although I don't mind the look, it creates some problems. I don't want to scratch my Jeep with a jack if I can keep from it. If it gets trail scratches, trees running down the side of it, I don't care, but I don't want to scratch it with a jack. I actually had these on my Amazon list, and before you ask, yes, they're made in China. These are actually pretty daggum good quality and gives you the ability to mount it in different places. You don't have to have a tire carrier like this. You could use these, and I'll show you when I take this all apart. You could use these if you have a 4-door. I would imagine you could use these on the inside of your Jeep and they would work perfectly. Old Dominion makes a high lift mount for the JLUs, JKUs, the Unlimiteds. Although I've not seen them personally, I do have a very good friend in my Jeep club who has the Old Dominion mount, and I can't remember what he said, but it wouldn't work. He was going to have to make some modifications. He was going to have to do something because it wouldn't work the way it was set up. To my knowledge, there is no mount for a 2-door JK or JL, just because of the way the roll bars come down in the back. On the Unlimiteds, there is a slant on that back tube on the roll bar, and on the 2 doors it just comes back and then cuts right off. So, and plus I didn't want to take a chance on it knocking my windows out. So I was thinking about having somebody fab me up some kind of mount. I was actually thinking about mounting it vertically here, but then I was like, it might be in the way of the tail light. So they're all right, well, I saw these on Amazon and I was like, all right, I can just mount them to the tube on the carrier and it'll work just great. These U-bolts are, I don't know the exact dimensions and I've already thrown the box away, so I can't tell you, but if you're interested in this mount, I will put a link to it in the description. It says it has a lock. It's not really a lock. All it is a set screw. It takes an Allen wrench. You just loosen that set screw up. Then you can loosen your knobs, and this is one of the cool features. This is the cool feature that I like about this mount. The wing nuts are out and it's still in place. This is the cool thing about this mount. It's actually grooved. So when you set your jack up here, it'll stay in place. Most of the other mounts that I have seen are just flat. They're flush. So you have to set your jack up there, hold it, put your bolt in, and screw it in. As far as the install goes, it's straightforward. It's a U-bolt that comes through the other side. You put this on there and clamp it down. This seems like CNC machined aluminum. I was very impressed with the apparent quality. I haven't had it off-road yet. I've driven it around and I gotta tell you something. This thing has not moved. I do need to come back here and probably cut these U-bolts off a little bit, maybe take 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches off of them. These will actually expand. These are some pretty good sized U-bolts, and the underside of the clamp part itself is actually grooved. It's got ridges in it, so it'll kind of grip on. Now, loose end, it came with 2 pieces of rubber. The gauge was real thick, and I've got them on the inside of the U-bolt and on the inside of the clamp part right here, just to kind of help protect the powder coat on the tire carrier. But like I said, these things are big enough that they would go on up to 3-inch tubing. One thing I did have to do though, I had to fashion a couple of spacers, probably a 1/2 inch, just to make sure that I had enough thread, because honestly the tube on this was probably a little bit too small for this mount, but using the spacers I was able to keep the nuts off of it enough that there's plenty of torque on this thing, and I actually put this on with a 3/8 inch impact just to make sure I got them super tight, and they're not going anywhere. Like I said, you can set your jack up there like that and go on and get your stuff. The only downfall I have found to this mount is that because of those grooves, you're gonna have to find a place to put them where they can be lined up either horizontally or vertically, because if they're not, it's not going to sit in the grooves right. So, and I mean, although it would probably work as far as mounting, because the bolts on these wing nuts are pretty long, it would sit probably cockeyed, I would think. Other than that, I'm a pretty big fan of this. Now, with these set screws, does it mean somebody can't steal it? No, it doesn't mean that, but they're not going to be able to get it quickly and easily. As long as you have these set screws tightened down, they're not just going to be able to come up here and undo your wing nuts and pull the jack and take off with it. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this week's video. Not a major deal, I understand. Just, there's stuff you guys can do. Do some routine maintenance on your Jeep. If you've got adjustable control arms, get under there and grease them dudes. Grease your track bars. Do all the stuff so that when the trail's open or you can get out and get off-road, you're ready. That's all I can say. You guys stay healthy, keep your families healthy, do what you gotta do, and we'll all get through this together. Till next time, keep the shiny side up, Jeep on.